and welcome once again to the Thrifty Collector. We're going back to the vault on some of my NFL Hall of Fame rookie card collection that are signed and that I actually have had slabbed. So you're going to notice a lot of guys that are deceased. I was lucky enough to get a lot of these guys before they passed, from the guys from the 40s and 50s and some from the 60s. So it's real good when you have some of these, and some of these guys have been gone for a while. There's going to be one card that the guy actually retired in 1948 and lived to, I believe, 101 years old, but I'll go over that once we get to him. So this is the vault of what I have slabbed of football cards. This is a 1952 Bowman Frank Gifford large rookie card signed. And the first batch I'm going to do are PSA. So, nice card. Got the back there. Now, I actually got this card back from Frank probably about a week or two before he passed away. So I was real lucky that I got it out in time and got him to sign it. Second card is Gale Sayers, the 1966 Philadelphia. Now, I have this one signed, and I have the in-action one signed. Actually, I think I have a couple of these. Gale actually signed for free for a very long time. He would put a G Sayers if you didn't send him at least like a $10 donation for one of his charities. So, of course, this being the rookie card, but what I really loved about this is that he actually signed it the way that his body and leg was. So, it comes out real nice that way. But this is the 1966 Philadelphia. 1963 Lance Allworth, Bambi. He actually put a few inscriptions on here for me. Went ahead and put Lance Allworth. He put Bambi, number 19, Hall of Fame 78. And then he did a little squiggly line. So I don't know exactly what that meant or why he did that. But this is the 1968 Lance Allworth rookie. Next card, Mike McCormick for the Cleveland Browns, Hall of Fame 1984. This is his 55 Bowman. Got this card a while ago, signed by him. He's like, so far, I think Lance Allworth is the only player that's actually still with us. So, PSA, Mike McCormick. Next one is Dan Fouts, who is a great signer. So if you've got some Dan Fouts cards, he will sign just about anything for you. This card, I wish I had gotten a better looking card, but it was nice to get a Dan Fouts. And this is his 1975. What's neat about this card is his first year was Johnny Unitas' last year with the San Diego Chargers. 1975 Topps Dan Fouts. Then I have next 1964 Topps Bobby Bell. It's a good looking card. PSA. 1957 Raymond Berry, who was the coach of the Patriots in their first Super Bowl when they got absolutely shellacked by the Bears. When the Patriots fired him, I was still in New England. A lot of people were still not happy about that. And then here's the back. Next is a 1950 Bowman Y.A. Tittle, who had some great years, played up to, I believe, 65. I do have the card that has, or it's a 16 by 20 signed by Chuck Bednarik, and with the Frank Gifford, where he knocked Frank Gifford out, and I also have the bloody, battered Y.A. Tittle when he was on his knees at the goal line. 1957, the Golden Boy, Paul Hornung. Now, I was lucky enough to get back. Paul was known to sign for free, but he did like to smear the autograph at the end. So thankfully, he didn't do that with this. The only player to win the Heisman Trophy on a losing team. 1957, Paul Hornung. One of my favorite cards, the 1955 Ace Parker. Ace is the one, this is a 1955 Topps All-American, Topps first all-football set. They had done football cards in the past, but they were with other sports or events. But the neat thing about Ace, he lived up to about 101. He might have made 102. When he was alive, this card was actually very expensive. This card is not in the best of shape, and I still think I paid about 40, 50 bucks. Now you can get a good one for about that price. And I do have a few cards signed by him, some of the Swell Hall of Fame set. And you can see over the years, and it was rather quickly, he always used to put Clarence Ace Parker, Hall of Fame, 1972. And as towards the end, he would forget numbers, or he would put Ace only on the cards. And then I have one that has Hall of Fame 192 on it. He forgot to put the 7, but hey, if you make it to 101 years old, you're still pretty good. Supposedly he still golfed up until his late 90s. So, but he actually retired in 1948. So by the time his first card came out, he had already been retired for 7 years. Now, this is an interesting one. This is a Todd Christensen. And Todd Christensen is not in the Hall of Fame, but he has always talked about being into the Hall of Fame. The interesting thing about him was it took him about 5 years before he really caught on as a tight end. He led the league in receiving, I want to say 2 times, but he was an absolute monster. And he was the first host of American Gladiators and had a killer mullet and mustache. The only card that I have that is Beckett slabbed is my 1962 Topps Fran Tarkenton. And I actually sent this off to Fran. Now, I don't really remember much about Fran when he was in football, but if you grew up as a kid in the 70s, you watched That's Incredible, and Fran was on that show. At the time he retired, he was probably one of the top 3 greatest quarterbacks of all time. Not an easy card to get. They are not inexpensive. So if you get one, you're doing pretty good. The next are my SGCs. What was nice about SGC there for a while, they would actually mark it as rookie. And also, they would also mark them deceased. I don't think they even do that anymore. But this is my 1952 Bowman Small Gino Marchetti. He is no longer alive, so it's kind of nice having that one. Next is my 1963 Topps SP Bob Lilly. This card does have a crease. It's hard to see it. The fact that it's Bob Lilly, who's considered Mr. Cowboy, and it's an SP, it's a short print card. So kind of hard to get this card. I think I still ended up paying about $40 for this card, even with the 2 creases. But he signed it beautifully. Otherwise, the card looks fantastic for a 1963. There's the back. Next is the 1986 Jerry Rice. Good looking card. That was a nice clean card I got sent out. Did it on a private signing. But if you notice, no longer has, when they went to the black, no longer has rookie. SGC actually doesn't even certify autographs anymore. And then there's the clean back on that. Next is the 1955 Bowman Bob Sinclair. This one, as you see, has deceased on it. So instead of putting rookie on it, they put deceased 2015. Bob was actually, he was very tall. He was 6'8.5". So you can imagine in the 50s and 60s how big of a player he was. And weight 262. So 262, that was a pretty big man for the 1950s. Next is a 1966 or 1967 Dave Robinson rookie card with the Green Bay Packers, Hall of Fame 2013. Just read an interesting thing. He's actually selling off his 2 Super Bowl rings. So, don't know if he's just at that age where he wants to go ahead and maybe pay for expenses, or sometimes these guys get up there and they want to go ahead and sell it so they can leave their family some money. 1967 Dave Robinson. Next is a 1979 James Lofton. Once again, you see the rookie on there from SGC. I think he's like $10 to sign through the mail, and he sends you an extra card signed for free. But nice, clean looking card. If you notice there's no logo on the helmet, that's because Topps did not have the rights to put the logos on the helmets, kind of like what Panini has to do now. So 1979 James Lofton. Next is a 1965 Dick LeBeau. Dick LeBeau, took him quite a long time to get in the Hall of Fame. He signed for free forever. And then, like a lot of these guys, they get in the Hall of Fame. Agents contact them and tell them they're going to make some money. So he now charges. But 1965 Philadelphia, Dick LeBeau. (1974) Ray Guy, rookie. The only punter to be drafted in the first round. He gets credited with helping the Raiders win a Super Bowl. I actually got this. I sent him to him, and he had a very short window before he went in the Hall of Fame where he was kind of a signing machine. Got in the Hall of Fame. He don't sign no mo. 1959 Topps Sam Huff. Rookie card. I sent this away for a private signing. (1948) Charlie Trippy, who I believe is actually still signing. He's got to be mid-90s, I imagine, by now, if he was playing football in 1948. But a product of University of Georgia. These old Bowman cards are just... look at that. He was called the Golden Boy. Must have stole that from Horning. But see, that's just a nice clean back on that one. There we go. 1981 Topps Kellen Winslow. Was always a big fan of his. He had that big game against Miami where they went into the AFC Championship game and they ended up losing, so that they didn't, probably would have been their best chance to get to a Super Bowl. But he had all kinds of catches, couple touchdowns, blocked a kick. Very infamous picture of 2 guys helping him off the field. He was just exhausted. It's a nice Kellen Winslow. Next is a 1973 Jack Ham. I actually got this done by a guy who did what they call a consignment. He went to the game that he knew Ham was going to be at, Penn State. That's right. I think it cost me like $15. A lot of guys do that. They'll go out and they'll go to the stadium and make themselves a little cash that day. But Pittsburgh Steelers great Jack Ham. And then one that I really love, this is one of my favorite cards, is the Don Shula. Shula did not normally sign through the mail, but this one he obviously did. And this is what this is. This is a team card from the 1966 Philadelphia for the Baltimore Colts. And then that's the back of the card, the players that were actually on the card. If you look at the back there, you got Unitas in the Hall of Fame, and Barry and Mackey. Jim Parker is also in the Hall of Fame. So a lot of these guys I'd wrote to over the years, and I don't think any of them, except for maybe Raymond Barry, is still around. I'd have to double check that, but yeah, 1964 Philadelphia, Don Shula. Then I've got two cards. They're not signed. I didn't take them out of their cases, so they're going to be hard to look. But being a Notre Dame fan, I got an SGC 2, the Four Horsemen. This is reads Rookie SP. It's the interesting thing, the 1954 Top Scoop had a Four Horsemen card. So not really their rookies if you count the Scoop card. And the Scoop card is probably about a third less inside than these. And then there's the back. Just if you're Notre Dame, there's two cards you've got to have from that set. And then this is the 55 All-American Knute Rockne. The coach that made the forward pass what it is today. He would have, he had the most wins when he passed away, and he was actually killed on the very first commercial airline disaster. So that's why he never came back. I think that was 1930 something. I don't know if it reads here. Probably not. No. So, but this is by far one of my favorite cards. Well, thank you for letting me go to the back to the vault with my Hall of Fame rookie cards. Hope everybody enjoyed them. There's a few guys you can still get. You can pick up those Todd Christensen signed cards. Usually slab for less than 30 bucks. Be a good investment if you want to pick something up, because he passed away about 5-6 years ago maybe. So obviously he's not signing them anymore. He was a great signer though when he was alive. You could send him 5 cards and he'd sign everything. So look forward to doing another video. I just got me another pro wrestling crate. I do have another basketball player who I think that you should possibly pick up, who's got an outside chance of being in the Hall of Fame, even though his rookie card is 51 years old. So everybody have a great night. Take care. Thanks for letting me share. Stay thrifty.